comment, and share. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards Football. Special thanks to my producer, Mr. Logan Landis, for making it happen today here on 100 Yards Football. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. Our video today is the Tennessee Titans 2024 NFL Draft Needs. So if you like the video, please comment and share it. Joining me as our guest, he's one of the most talented writers out there right now that's covering the 2024 NFL Draft. He comes from the state of Colorado. I know him as Mr. William Yanish, but I call him Rocky Mountain High out of Colorado. The gentleman is what I call one of the most intense, dedicated, and a guy that loves football at a high level. And he writes for FirstRoundMark.com. So, Mr. Yanish, welcome to 100 Yards Football, and tell us about the Tennessee Titans NFL Draft Needs for 2024.
Well, this is definitely one important draft for what they have going with Mike Vrabel out and all that good stuff. You know, Derrick Henry out. First thing, new regime comes in. You have to decide who your quarterback is. That's one. And having the 7th overall pick is pretty good. But they still have, second round pick Will Levis from last year, but that's can he really, be the guy? I mean, up front, they lost a whole lot of things along the line. They lost their center, left tackle. They lost a couple cornerbacks. They really have to kind of see what was happening, what Vrabel was trying to do, but that's completely gone. But that's the weapons that are left there. You have Traylon Burks. I mean, he is definitely, how would you say, underachieving considering his first round pick. But I mean, he has a potential to actually do something. And they got DeAndre Hopkins on the other side. Not to mention, $75.5 million in cap space. They signed Tony Pollard. I mean, it looks like they're trying to get some, playmakers in there, which is good. But like I said up front, I would just have to say that, I mean, if it were me, I would take the best, offensive lineman available, whoever it was across the board between center and guard, the outside. I can't say, what else to do with these guys because, Brian Callahan, he obviously has NFL experience, but he hasn't been, nothing at the head coaching level. But I don't know, having picks 7, 38, 106, I mean, they have to do something in the back end of their defense too, And like I said, I would just pick the best offensive lineman available. What do you think, Vince?
Tennessee Titans, that's my home state, baby. I like to say love and respect to all the people from the beautiful state of Tennessee with only about 7 million people in the whole state. The 615 is in the house. Shout out to my sister, Mrs. Rhonda Turner, who lives in Nashville, Tennessee. The Titans made a lot of moves in the offseason. They got rid of Mike Vrabel. A lot of people didn't like that kind of move, didn't like Mr. Vrabel for getting fired. It seemed like you, Mr. Yanish, you didn't like that either, but I'm not going to bring that up. But they decided to go with Brian Callahan, bringing them over from Cincinnati, of changing their whole philosophy, seemingly from an offensive standpoint, where they really was relying a lot on Derrick Henry. But I tell you what, I like your observation of the O-line because when the Titans were good under Mike Vrabel, they had Taylor Lewan and Jack Copeland. And Derrick Henry had some of his best years rushing the football. They signed Andre Dillard from Philadelphia for a lot of money, but that didn't work out. But if I'm going offensive line in the first round, I think they're going to have some very good picks. I like Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, and I like Patrick Paul out of the University of Houston. But me personally, if I had to say with that first round pick, you're going to go with Will Levis. You already made a commitment to him. In free agency, you signed Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard out of the 901 Memphis, Tennessee. If he's healthy, he's going to bring something to the table. Then you signed Calvin Ridley to go along with DeAndre Hopkins, and you brought on Treylon Burks out of the University of Arkansas, Pig Sooie. Now, Mr. Burks has been so much up to this point a bust because he's been injured a lot. But if he's healthy, you got a very strong receiving core. So, to me, with the offensive lineman that's in this draft, you can move back and get you a good, I think, starting tackle in the second round. Defense is where I would go in the secondary. Roger McCray is developing into a pretty good corner. You're going to lose Christian Fulton to free agency along with Sean Murphy-Bunting. My thing is, if you're going to go with the first pick, Nate Wiggins is on the board right there. And having two corners of Mr. McCurry and Mr. Wiggins, you could change the line in that division because you're looking at the NFC, you're looking at the AFC South, right? You got Lamar Jackson in that division. No, excuse me. You got Trevor Lawrence. I'm thinking about the old AFC North. You got Trevor Lawrence in that division. You got C.J. Stroud in that division. And hopefully Indianapolis come back with a healthy Anthony Richardson. Well, we know what C.J. Stroud and Trevor Lawrence are going to want to do. Throw the football. So you got to be really strong on the outside. And to me, teaming Mr. Wiggins with Mr. McCrary, the Titans are going to be pretty strong now. But other than that, I think this is a team hiring Brian Callahan as the head coach. Then he bringing his father, this offensive line coach, Bill Callahan. And the Titans, if they elect to go with an offensive tackle in the first round, this is a team that's going to be pretty improved in that division in the AFC South. Back to you, Mr. Yanish.
Well, I put Levis, kind of with a backup grade. He can play, but he gets wild with his arm, But other than that, man, like you said, maybe move back. I think that would be a great idea right there. So
I think one thing, and I also talk with some other people. A lot of people are not really strong on Will Levis being a what you call quality start in the league. But I'm gonna tell you, his head coach Brian Callahan wouldn't took that job. Remember what Brian Callahan and where he's coming from, the Cincinnati Bengals. Question to you: Joe Burrow's been a pretty good quarterback since he's been in the league, right? Brian Callahan was the offensive coordinator and the quarterback's coach. So I think Will Levis is going to improve a lot there. And think about this. I thought Will Levis played pretty well considering the circumstances in Tennessee last season. He came in and had some pretty good games, throwing the deep ball. Look what he did against the Atlanta Falcons, his come-out game. So this is a gentleman that's got an arm to make all the throws, and I think be a pretty good football player in this draft. Pretty good football player in this league. I just think, as you just brought up the key point, he's got to tone it down a little bit. And on the outside of the receiving core, he's got Calvin Ridley now. He's got DeAndre Hopkins. Two guys that are very experienced in this league. I don't care what anybody say. DeAndre Hopkins is 32 years old, but D-Hop can still get the job done. And if Treylon Burks could be healthy this season, then you bring it on Tony Pollard to go in that backfield with you. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to be a surprise team in that AFC South. Final words, Mr. Yanish.
Like I said, just get it done from the inside out. Go with the lineman.
Yes, sir. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards Football. Special thanks to our very talented producer, the very talented Mr. Logan Landers. And once again, to Mr. William Yanish, joining us out of the state of Colorado, Rocky Mountain High. Thank you today. And be blessed here on 100 Yards of Football.